Order. Everyone join me. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for the invocation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear God, please bless our planning commissioners, grant them courage and wisdom to do what is right for all citizens. Amen.
Thank you. Thank you, Andrea. Thank you all for attending. We have a pretty full agenda this evening, so we're going to move right into roll call, please. Michelle?
Kevin.
Here.
Nick.
Here.
Bonnie.
Here.
Andrea.
Here.
Tracy.
Here.
Dennis.
Here.
Ida. Here. Tom.
Here.
Angel from Rose not here, and Corey.
Here. Thank you. The meeting minutes have been distributed in full by Ida and skillfully presented by Michelle, our secretary. Has everybody had a chance to review them from last month, July?
I have a correction, Mr. Chair.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
So in the Tanzel Avsi, the new owner of Thumb Gun, where I'm quoted, Kraus, Commissioner Kraus, I question if the owner was selling the trailers. I didn't know that the previous owner didn't sell trailers. It was a question of whether or not the owner of the parcel was going to be selling the trailers.
What? Oh, there it is, on the first page. Okay, yeah, right. Okay, first page, yep. Didn't want to change business operations. That's correct. You are correct.
Okay, I can make that correction.
Thank you. Otherwise, excellent as usual.
Options, corrections, anything? I'd be happy to entertain a motion to accept the minutes as presented with the correction from Bonnie regarding her question of Mr. FC regarding the selling of trailers.
So move.
Second. Motion is approved and seconded, or motion approved and seconded by Nick. Any further discussion? Anything else anybody wants to add? Okay. And motion carries. We'll have a voice vote. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Okay. That's done item. Correspondence. I do have one item that was forwarded to me from Ida regarding certificate courses, if anybody's interested in taking a certificate course. It's a hybrid. It's either a hybrid or I believe it's online. It's either online, in person, online, or a hybrid. She has documentation, if it's something you're interested in. Basically applies to anyone on the ZBA or a planning commission. That's here for a review if anybody's interested. Through MSU. So I assume it would be in Flint or online.
That's at the extension, so.
Pardon?
It's through the extension, so
Yeah.
it'll probably be up here.
Oh,
The extension office.
there's also one in the pier. Okay, I wasn't aware of that. Okay. It's now 7:04. I'd like to open up a special election for a PC secretary. Let's see, where did the bylaws go? The secretary, we have a vacant opening for secretary. And let's see, vice chair secretary. I'll read the duties. The secretary shall perform the usual functions of the office and such other duties as chairman or commission may direct. The secretary is to proofread and coordinate with the recording secretary in order to present accurate planning commission minutes to the planning commission for approval. The secretary is also to prepare the annual report for the planning commission approval. That's item B. Item C, in the event of the absence or inability of the chair or vice chair to discharge the duties of the chair, such duties shall devolve upon the secretary during such absence of disability of the chair or vice chair. The secretary, that was item C. Item D, the secretary shall be responsible for maintaining and updating the planning commission bylaws, incorporating all changes approved by a vote of the commission members in accordance with Article 8 Amendment of Rules of Procedures. Dennis has been a past secretary. I don't know if anybody else has been.
I have been.
You have as well. So maybe if anybody is interested in fulfilling that role, if you have any questions to ask of the of either the past secretaries, anyone, it's a role that is desperately needed. We have been without one for 3 meetings now, two meetings or 3. It's been, I think, 3 since Brian left. So, anyone volunteer? Any nominations? Anyone at all? Anybody have any questions about those responsibilities?
Do you want it, Tracy? No, she doesn't. Oh, if nobody else wants it, I'll raise my hand.
We have a volunteer in Michelle. Sorry, Bonnie, excuse me.
I nominate Bonnie
You-
Kraus for secretary.
Okay, we have a nomination supported by Dennis. Anybody have any discussion, questions, any additional information to hand to Bonnie? Okay. Let's take a roll call vote.
Sorry, I got to move the minutes.
Understand?
Kevin,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
Bonnie,
Yes.
Andrea,
Yes.
Tracy,
Yes.
Dennis,
Yes.
Ida, and Tom.
Yes.
I just a non-voting. Yeah. All right. Motion carries. Thank you, Bonnie, for stepping up. I know it's a big role.
Thank you.
You're very involved with the other subcommittees as well, so we all appreciate that.
I don't have enough to do. And I wasn't going to volunteer, but nobody else did. Okay.
Okay, special election is complete. Any public comments so far for anything that's on the agenda? Current or past? You're welcome to speak now. No? Okay, any late agenda items? Ida, that,
The only major item is a change in the agenda. I sent out an email letting you know that Mr. Austin Hall has,
correct?
is unavailable. So
Yep.
the agenda.
Yes. Thank you. To those who don't know, Thomas Schoen is our new Shane. I apologize. He did say that and I missed it. Mr. Shane has volunteered and been appointed by our township supervisor to fulfill the role that Brian had to vacate. So welcome aboard. We're glad you came about. Is there anything you want to give a brief introduction, who you are, so forth? We appreciate it.
Sure. My name is Tom Shane. I've been a township resident pretty much my whole life. Moved here when I was in 2nd grade. So brought my family back. I now work in healthcare as an administrator. I'm a nurse by trade, but I also have an MBA as well. I'm looking forward to helping this group in any way possible.
Thank you. Okay. Next introduction would be for, and if I pronounce this wrong, I apologize, Aiden Calabat, with a proposed gas station and convenience store at 4620. The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you, sir. Apologize for the tardiness.
Actually,
You're-
right on time.
I think you were right on time.
Here, I'm gonna change.
That was very efficient.
Brought you guys a few boards to look at. I'm not sure if everybody has received a copy of the plans yet or not that were sent in, so I brought these to share. That's gonna drop. Again, Iden Calabat, business address for the record, 31333 Southfield Road, Suite 250, Beverly Hills, Michigan. So appreciate your guys' time this evening. We're here to present a new proposed gas station and an existing shopping center, or the existing Andy's Market there. Sorry, this is gonna be down below.
It's understandable.
So, can you guys see over there on that side?
Nope.
Reasonable enough?
Where is this at?
This is on Van Dyke.
Century 21 Plaza.
Oh, Century 21, okay.
It's north of United Lawn Care.
So it's an existing shopping center there. And what we're looking at doing is occupying a good portion of the building with a new C-store and, so we'll be occupying a good portion of the C-store, of the existing building with the C-store, and be adding gas canopy pump islands out in the middle of the parking lot there. So right now, you've got double loaded parking here in the middle that extends all the way across, and cutting into that area, adding in 2x2 pump islands, 8 of total, and the canopy on top of that. And then total,
I'm sorry.
8.
8?
8 fueling stations in total, yeah. I'm sorry, 16 fueling stations, 8 pump islands. So there's not a whole lot more impact to the site. The site is currently zoned, I believe, C2. When I check the zoning ordinance, it is a permitted use within the zoning ordinance, the gas station is. So, we kind of looking to meet all the dimensional standards, probably wouldn't be looking for any variances or anything like that from the zoning ordinance. And then, obviously the structure and all the pavement and stormwater are all currently in place. So any engineering items, we're not increasing any hard surfaces. So there shouldn't be any need to do any additional work with the existing stormwater detention system. Looks like there is a pump station out at the front. Get that up. We do have a kind of just a brief concept floor plan of what the C-store portion will look like. A lot of that shopping center has sat vacant. And I'm not sure how long portions of it. I think it's had some occupancy in and out. And really the owners they're looking to buy it from the current owner. They would stay as a tenant. There's another, I believe it's a chiropractor unit at the end, which would also stay as a tenant. And then they would basically be taking the north end of the building that would, the east end of the building to fill it. West end. I might be.
East are vacant, is that correct?
That's where we saw they.
The east are vacant, yeah, so he would be occupying the east end of the building. So right now, he'd be occupying all the vacant space at the front. So an opportunity to fill the vacancy and then also add the gas station there, which, on a large corridor, on Van Dyke Road there, the gas station is, fits right in with the character of the road. It's going to provide a service to, a lot of the vehicles that are already driving on that road. And the benefit for the shopping center is it's also going to attract and draw in a lot of vehicles from the road. They're going to stop to try and get gas because it's the C-store. And anytime you're doing that, you're really just I mean, it's very vital for the livelihood of the shopping center. You know, if the shopping center is going to thrive as a commercial and not be plagued with vacancy, you want to be able to drive traffic to it. So the gas station really will help strengthen the corner of that shopping center and hopefully keep tenancy up and keep traffic and visibility there as well. There's plenty of room on the site, and it's not tight by any means within the parking lot. You've got more than enough feet for more than enough distance for your parking stalls, drive aisles, maneuvering lanes. The main challenge we have realistically really is just the underground fuel tanks have got to kind of be put in an area that's kind of far away from the actual canopy, but that's to meet separation requirements from the water well there. So it's an added cost to the owner, to the developer, to put that in there, but he's got to do that in order to comply and get it in there, right? So really today we're here just to kind of get a lot of their initial feedback, answer any questions that you guys have, hopefully, be able to incorporate any suggestions into the official site plans when they get brought back in for decision and action. And, like I said, answer any questions that you guys have.
Only thing comes to mind would be the added traffic on M53. What traffic studies you're going to have to comply with, so on and so forth.
And I think we should be able to figure that out with engineering. I shouldn't have any issues with that. I'm not sure that there's going to be a whole lot of added traffic. The gas station is going to mainly serve as a capture, going to bring traffic off the road and slow it down.
Is there a left turn lane?
That would be a requirement for the site plan submittal as a traffic study.
Traffic study will be required, yeah.
So that part of that, just so it's not a surprise when you do apply, is to have that ready at some point.
Okay, yeah, we can do that.
Will this include an auto wash?
It will not include an auto wash as currently, no. There may be an element for a drive-through use potentially along the back of the shopping center, have a drive-through window as part of the C-store, but they're still exploring that.
Shop type thing.
Yes, yeah. Something that they would operate from within the C-store and have as like a additional service on their C-store and be able to serve a drive-through function through the back of the shopping center.
Big tea, coffee.
There are options. There are definitely options.
Looking for, Andrew.
Yeah.
Starbucks.
If you know anybody too, we'll reach out to them.
Is it gas only, not diesel,
There will be diesel and I think rec fuel as well.
as well as what? Oh,
Recreational fuel, rec fuel, yeah.
Diesel with the intent of semi pulling in and out of there?
That was my next question because
No, not the way it's currently laid out. No, they would, if they needed to do semi-traffic, that, they'd
Difficult.
be difficult. It would take up a good portion of the width of the property to get them to maneuver around and point it back or come in straight on and then have to be able to maneuver back. So, yeah, the existing shopping center doesn't really help.
Right.
Now, if I know that there's quite a bit of property, to the west end of it as well. So, they don't know what they may do with that portion of the property at some point in the future. That if they wanted to add it, there certainly is a lot more room, but that would probably be far west of the existing shopping center. It would require them to possibly do something with the existing septic system and drain field that are occupying that space. So it's you can't never say never, right?
So you're a tenant? Is that what that would be?
They're currently under contract to purchase the property as a whole. Yep, so they would become the landlord operating, and then the current businesses that are in there would remain as tenants.
So some of the items just to be aware is that it will be a special land use in C2. So there'll be notification, public hearing, that type.
Where is that in the zoning ordinance? Because when I looked at the zoning ordinance, it looked like it was underneath the permitted uses.
C2 zoning for automobile service stations, with on special land use for C2, it's permitted in C3. Which doesn't mean it can't be done, it's just,
Okay.
it's a process you have to go through for special land use. Kind of what we're doing tonight with the other plan on here is you have certain criteria, to me, which is more or less, how does it fit in the environment? And then you have your site plan issues.
And then you have, yeah,
So that's how I read it as, it's not my final determination, just when you apply, that's gonna be something that's gonna be looked at.
okay,
Because it doesn't come out specifically say fueling stations, like some do, it just says automobile service stations.
Service stations.
Falls under that caveat.
yeah, and I thought that was listed as a permitted use. I may have been mistaken, I'll check, from what I saw online, it looked like it was a permitted use.
Article A7 spells out the permitted and special land use for that. So this would be the automobile service station, come over here to
Oh, there's a table.
C2, it's a special land use. C3 is permitted,
Yeah, see, the one I looked at online, this was a P.
so. If there's something different, then that's what it is. It could be.
I'll check it again.
This is current.
That's the current one? Okay.
So that's just one note on that, and then, because of it is the well and septic, we obviously have setbacks for the tanks, which you talked about.
Right, yeah,
From both yours and from off-site.
from off-site wells as well.
Off-site as well.
Okay.
I don't believe you have the same distance from single residential, but from other commercial
Wells,
wells, you have the same, as you mentioned. And then the other thing to keep in mind too, while maybe not special land use, but site plan, will be verification that the septic field is adequate for what's being proposed. Because with any well and septic, you have to go through that portion of it. So sometimes that is good, but it's always gonna go up front.
yeah,
I always recommend to have that answer as early as possible, and maybe you have it already, because that's something that the county operates on their own timeline.
yeah,
So that can be something that would hold up the process, if everything else was going through.
was everything, okay. The septic, and I figured that would probably have to get reviewed and approved by Lapeer County Health Department, right?
And all the townships are required is that the county has approved it for that use.
Got you, because it's a new,
And
yeah,
you have to do modification to it, but whatever it is, it's approved for the county.
it's approved, yeah,
We won't look at that, but
Right.
we're gonna require that verification.
that it's done and completed by the,
That it's either one approved as it is, or there's plans that are approved to modify.
To modify,
whatever's
yeah.
required.
I imagine, and they're planning on having a small kitchen element into the C-store. So we've already talked about potential grease, interceptor, grease traps with the septic system. So I figured we're gonna have to get, I mean, when I talked with, the office, we figured we were gonna have to get health department approval and even road commission
Even just without food service, the change of use will require the health
will
department.
require, yeah,
Because it's a more intense use than what just the office type use was there.
that was there, yeah.
So you have to get that verification. And if you do, look at a small kitchen, or you talk about drive-through facility, that's all something that is completed in the county's review. We would just need verification of what you're proposing can be done.
Gotcha,
And that would be before, is if everything else goes through smoothly, there won't be any final decision until that information.
gotcha. So will that be part of, is that required when we go through the special land use and site planning, or is that more so when when we're applying for building permits?
It's not necessarily in the special land use, but it would be under the site plan.
Under the site plan. Does PC typically, if they're approving, they do that approval conditioned on you having that approval from the health department, and then you,
Typically, it's a A1, A2. You want to make sure the site plans that you're proposing can
Match.
be approved.
yeah,
It doesn't, there can still be contingencies, outliers on it, but they want to make sure major things. So that's why I said it's always going to get
okay.
that component on well and septic dealt with as soon as you can do it.
Yep, I just
At
want,
least get a direction, some assurances or something.
if we're in the process with the county, then at least PC will know that when they're making a decision on it, yeah. Makes sense. Any other feedback?
It sounds interesting. One thing that I know you're going to get some feedback on from the public is the lighting, excessive lighting. I think that's going to be something that we'll really push back on. Traffic. So those are all things that if you have all your ducks in a row, might make it go a little smoother.
Yeah, absolutely.
Would there be a canopy over your pumps?
Yes, yeah. And typically when you've got that, the notice of lighting, I mean, you're gonna have, there is existing parking lot lighting. in those areas. So those parking lot lights that are in that current area are going to get removed and replaced with the canopy lighting. So there shouldn't be a drastic change in the lighting on that property.
It's just something to keep in mind.
Yeah.
We're walking a fine line between a rural community and growth, and that's where you're going to see some pushback, I'm sure.
Yeah. We'll do a complete lighting and photometric plan for it.
Of course you will.
So we'll have it.
Will it be an independent, or will it be affiliated with a big oil company? Or you're not
Well, they're independent operators, and then basically they haven't decided who they're pulling their fuel from. So they'll, when they have that, there'll be a fuel brand that'll be associated to it typically. Yeah.
Well, I think at this juncture, I think you know where you've got to focus your attention. Looks like you gave it some thought, and we appreciate you coming in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Giving it that much time and effort. You're obviously serious, so we appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. No, and we just want to make sure that, that it fits with the community and that it's something that, looks like it will, it looks promising as opposed to, boy, this looks kind of like a challenge. So I appreciate the feedback and letting us know. And Mark, Corey, thank you for all the information. I'll be sure to follow up with you too in the coming weeks, and we'll get things rolling. All right.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Have a great evening. It's 7:26. I'd like to call a public hearing to order, regarding the site 4310 Van Dyke STE, the proposed site plan revision as it relates to the SLU, the existing SLU. This is not an approval of the site plan. This is only as it pertains to the SLU. The additional changes or amendments they'd like to make to the site. And allow the public to understand what changes they're going to make, what impact it may have on surrounding areas, and if it retains its if it retains the character that it was originally intended for. The public hearing process will be a summary of procedures and rules. We'll have a question and answer format. All questions will be addressed to me, the chair. You will have 3 to 4 minutes to make your comments. There will be a planning consultant, township engineer presentation, the main points of the application, recommendation, recognition of the applicants who are present, complete, your whole party is present, thank you. I don't believe we've received any public correspondence written. Okay. So I will read the current SLU. Board of Appeals. This is the zoning Board of Appeals. Is it?
No, it's in here, I believe.
Yeah, this is special land use. Here it is. Excuse me, I apologize. This was a late addition and I haven't had time to review it.
That's not really what I was looking for. Well, like I said, I apologize.
Third.
Yeah, public hearing, okay. Well, okay, here we are. Yep. Expand use approval on finding facts. Yeah, but this is all just a meeting minutes. I was actually looking for the actual.
The motion is this
It's at the-
whole big area here.
Yeah,
This is all
the
motion.
right here
This is all motion.
on this page.
Motion was moved by Streeter and supported by Lowers to grant special land use approval for application 14002 as presented by Southern Truck Equipment at 4310 Van Dyke, subject to meeting all engineering. That's not, that's not,
I think they used to do them
No,
together,
That's how it
remember?
was.
We used to do them together and some of them.
So now it's.
Site plan was tied to special land
But
use.
this-
oh, okay, all
The
right.
special
But
land use is on the second page. That's where the special land use is. That whole section down here,
that's what I was reading, yeah.
that
But
is,
that's-
that's the motion for the special land use.
Yeah, there are several businesses within the area that are consistent with the character of the area along M53. Proposed use is not expected to create additional traffic or traffic hazards. There are no identified nuances anticipated due to the proposed use. The proposed outdoor storage will be screened from the roadway by the front building, and one side by the existing buildings will be used for storage. The fence is proposed to provide screening in the rear and side of the property. The proposed use is situated along M53 in an area where several commercial businesses exist and will not disrupt the continuity of development in the area. There are no identified threats to the public health, safety, or welfare from the operation of the site. The only identified potential impact is the view of the open storage on nearby residences, and that issue has been addressed by the proposed screening. With regards to the specific requirements for the outdoor storage portion of the use of the following findings of fact apply to section 1602.1. Outdoor storage area is as designated on the site plan concealed behind a 6-foot fence and will also be obscured by the principal building on the property. The storage area is currently asphalt and will remain asphalt. I have some questions about that. The storage area is completely enclosed and will not encroach upon the adjacent property. The requirements for the indoor storage portion of the following findings of fact apply to section 16.02.2. The owner shall place limitations on the storage of combustible or flammable liquids, combustible fiber, or explosive materials on any lease. All storage is proposed to be enclosed. The owner shall place limitations on the use of self-storage units for any use other than storage on any lease. The following conditions are part of this motion to approve. The owner shall include in the lease agreements for the storage units that storage of the combustible or flammable liquids, combustible fibers, explosive materials is prohibited, as is the use of storage unit for any other item for storage. No vehicles or other items higher than 12 feet 7 inches shall be allowed on the open stored area on the property. No businesses or operations shall be allowed between the hours of 12 midnight and 6 a.m. Waiving of extra screening is approved pursuant to Article 4.02.3 L, Section L, and all standards pursuant to Article 16, Section 16.02.1, and Section 16.02.2 shall be adhered to. And that was a roll call vote of unanimous approval. Now, the additional uses as proposed on this site plan, other than where it talked about asphalt, appears to adhere to that. Would you guys, Doug, and would you like to take the floor and comment on any of that? Is there anything you'd like to?
Well, the gravel lot that we're proposing is the same as what's behind the buildings as of right now. And it was all approved by the ZBA. Just gonna move the fence back, move the trees back, and, do the buildings.
Corey, do you have any additional comments? Now's the time that, for your.
As it relates to special land use.
I'm sorry. Please state your name.
Doug Charbonneau.
Doug Charbonneau. For the record, so our recording secretary can make note.
As it relates to special land use, it does have, as you have, current special land use on the property. Why we have a public hearing now is because the ordinance requires any expansion of special land use, even if it's the same special land use request, it requires another public hearing just as the original did. What they're proposing is to basically expand the outdoor storage area, which is a special land use. The building, the other ones fall under more the site plan. This is for the outdoor storage. In that, they're expanding that according to plan 301 feet to the west. So just moving that additional area to the west. And for that portion of special land use, that's what you consider the 5 findings of fact if it meets the requirements. But as far as related to the original special land use, I believe they are following that. I have not been notified if there's been any violations or concerns of what they're doing. Everything is within the screened area in the back. One thing I will mention that since the first special land use and site plan approval, the ordinance in Almont Township has revised some of the ordinance requirements, and really the only one that applies here is for businesses with outdoor storage, including machinery, vehicles, boats, building supplies, and similar equipment. That all storage areas shall be treated or surfaced so as to facilitate proper drainage and prevent dust or dirt from blowing. So it's not as stringent as it was in the past. It's basically the planning commission can determine if the surface material, again, this is not a special land use, but the difference between the original special land use and now the planning commission can determine if the proposed surface is adequate for what's being in there, as long as it is treated so as to facilitate proper drainage and prevent dust or dirt from blowing. So that depends on what they present and how they're going to manage the surface material and that. So that part of the special land use is currently with their current facility, because at the time it was approved, that was a requirement to get that. But that's the only part that's changed from their initial approval to now is the surface material for the outdoor storage portion.
And you're just gonna, I think you have it on page 3 here, your surface treatment, is that correct?
They're proposing basically a line double A.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's over on the far left side.
When it starts to get dry, we do a little chloride. We've had chloride trucks in before.
Again, Again, the special land use consideration is the characteristic is that Almont Township has their 4 requirements. The characteristics of proposed special land use, such as location, size, layout, periods of operation, character will not be unreasonably detrimental to the surrounding neighborhood or create unacceptable off-site impacts due to traffic, dust, noise, fumes, vibration, smoke, or lights. Second item is the characteristics of proposed special land use, such as location, size, layout, periods of operation, and character will not unreasonably interfere with or discharge or discourage the appropriate development and use of adjacent land and buildings or unreasonably affect their value. The proposed use is so designed, located, planned, and to be operated that the public health, safety, and welfare will be protected. Proposed use shall be in harmony with general purpose and intent of the zoning ordinance and the township master plan. So that's the special land use component. And where the site plan comes into that, the proposed items that are considered, is by expanding this 301 feet would be, there's a blend in the characteristics, lighting, dust, noise. So the application is proposing to take the required trees and screening from the previous approval, essentially move them back to the new fence line. So all those trees are proposed to be moved. And in the case if they can't be moved or if they die in transit, they'll have to replace them in kind.
Yeah.
And it's not in kind with a 12-foot with an 8-foot. That's, the plan is to take what's there and keep that screening. So that's one consideration that they proposed. And also, there was no additional new lighting for that second portion of it. So that's another one that has changed. That wasn't expressly put in there that they're not going to do additional lighting that they had in the original proposal, but now moving it 300 feet further west, and we're not adding additional lighting to that.
For the record, those who may not know, once the fence line right now is about 675 feet from the west property. It will be reduced to 375 feet, roughly, the fence line.
Those are, I guess, discussion points on the special land use and what we're proposing. As far as site plan, they are essentially just expanding what the current use is there with the building and with 2 buildings, and then expanding the detention area, still the same methods for that. I think we're in the public hearing portion, if the applicant wants to explain it in more detail what they're proposing and why. It does include, again, the screening, extending the existing screening that's there around the perimeter. And then at that point, any questions that the public may have, be happy to answer if I can to the applicant.
Yeah, that's, if you wouldn't mind giving a synopsis or a brief summary of anything that Corey may have missed or want to expand on that, now would be the time to do
I
that.
think he knows it about as good as I do. The fence that we're gonna have to add, because we're taking some out, but it's actually gonna have nicer screening. It looks like pine tree screening. So that's what'll be to the neighbors in the back. And we're gonna use as much as we can on the south side also. And then we'll do the rest of the gray.
To clarify, this is for someone using for outdoor storage of their equipment.
Yeah.
Sales, stuff that.
Yeah.
Your business.
Customer vehicles and stuff like that.
That you're.
We're just busting at the seams right now, so.
It's not a change, you're not proposing anything different.
No,
Not proposing to have additional indoor storage, mini storage, and stuff that's.
No,
we have now.
no mini storages, nope. We're gonna build a new build shop facility, and then the other one will be just a cold storage. Keep a lot of equipment out of the weather. One in the back.
Well, thank you. Now we'll open it up to public comment, the public comment section of the hearing process. If anybody has any questions, comments, would like to voice their concerns, please approach the podium, state your name, address,
Hi, Michael Cicchini, 7120 Old Farm Trail.
Okay.
The property directly behind all this. Just a couple things, say congratulations on doing well for your business. I appreciate good business coming to town, and I do business with you, have for the years, and so the only questions I have is, I guess, number one, why do we need to expand it so much closer to my property? Why do we need a lean-to built back that far? Why couldn't that be moved up? Or, on the back side of this building, why couldn't the lean-to be back here? Because all this is going to do with all this stone and equipment parking, nothing but disturb my residents. That was here first.
Your residence is
Directly
on Old
behind
Farm
it.
Road, that's to the far west?
On the west side of the pine trees, yep. The pond and,
How tall, I'm sorry, how tall are those back trees, no, Mike?
how tall are they now?
About 65 feet?
Oh, they're not that tall, no, but they're tall. Well, but what I'm gonna ask for, Doug, to be honest with you, is I'm gonna ask for another 30 pine trees to be put across the back, the same trees.
Well, we're moving 20 of them back.
20 of these back.
Yeah.
I'm asking for 30. I want this whole piece
We're
here.
not a tree farm.
Whatever. I don't care
Hold it,
where you
hold
get
it.
it. But what I'm asking for is that along the existing pine trees on my property, I
On
want
the
another,
far west side.
the far west side of the property, line between Doug's property and mine.
So
There is a row that was put in when the development was done. I am asking for them to match that row with probably a 30-foot gap in between for growth and for privacy.
So what do we do with the $20,000 worth of deciduous trees you guys asked for last time that I had to put back there?
You put them all up here.
No, they're along that road.
Where? You never what'd you put in there, Doug? 5 trees?
No, there's like 15 maples put along here. The whole
Maples. I
property
want
line.
pines. I want
Oh,
privacy.
that's
If
what
you're
I'm
coming
saying.
back,
You guys
Doug,
want
if you're
the
coming back this far, if you're gonna come back this far, I want peace and quiet. I moved here before him. His comment to me at the prior one, I was told that it was never be built. They would never give him more land to build back there. That's why
I understand that.
it was done the way it was. All right. A statement that was made to me is if you don't like it, you should have bought the property. A statement I'll make to you,
That's-
if it doesn't
that's-
work for you,
that's-
you should have bought a different piece of property. Move somewhere else.
This was commercial property.
I understand that.
Before-
But the original agreement was, I fought you guys, none of you guys were on the board at that
No.
time. I fought them for 2 years for lighting. I fought them for everything. It's my residence, it's my home.
And we welcome you to make comments.
Hmm?
Other than what's in the zoning ordinance, we cannot force him to add any trees or
Sure
anything
you can.
beyond.
Sure you can.
If it-
Absolutely.
If it was detrimental or if it impacted directly your,
1,000%, 1,000% it impacts my way of life and my privacy. Absolutely.
and-
And I would state, no business, how?
yeah,
Disruptance. You're 300 and some feet closer to me now. Now you're talking about driving semis in and out of there till midnight? That ain't gonna happen. I live there. I lived there before these guys. I moved there for a certain reason. It was storage buildings. It was not a shop.
yeah, it was.
So if you want to take care of your homeowners, I suggest you think about what I'm saying, because it's not right to invade on my privacy and create more havoc for my life.
Did our neighbors have to put any trees when they expanded their yard back here?
Don't know.
Hold.
Yeah, they put pine trees over here for me.
Hold it,
They
hold
sure
it.
did.
Hey, order.
No, hang on. They sure did. Yes, they did, Doug. They put in pine trees where your little maple tree here that's dead. They put pine trees right there. Yes, they did. They were very kind and very easy to work with.
Okay. Let's get back on
I'm
track.
not here to be a jerk. I'm just here to protect my property.
And you have a very nice piece of property.
It's a
I did
beautiful
look at
piece of
it.
property,
I did look
absolutely.
at it online before the meeting, and I agree that your peace and quiet and serenity are very valuable and need to be guarded. At the same time, I also have other buildings to the north of them. I have other properties to the south that I also have to protect their values.
Absolutely.
And their values may differ because they're commercial than yours.
Absolutely.
So you're asking for additional buffer zone across the whole back or only across?
Across the whole back. That would
Okay.
match what I have now.
Now, there's a problem with that, is that there's a septic field back there.
Okay,
So there's no way that he can even,
go on the other side of the septic field.
I don't know that that's feasible. I'm not an engineer, I can't say.
I'm just saying what I want to have to keep my privacy. Been here 15 years. I plan on staying here. And I don't want to be interrupted by all the dust that this gravel is going to create. Semis driving around. I'm in the underground business. I know what this is going to create. You know, I've dealt with it my whole life. I've been in the business for 40 years. So you're not going to tell me that a high-low going back and forth to this lean-to is not going to disrupt my privacy? A semi coming in here and dumping off and unloading parts at 11 o'clock at night? Who knows? I would suggest one thing for it, that the existing structures and the existing property they're using, nothing west of that can be used after 5 o'clock PM. I would ask for that stipulation, because what they've done now doesn't really bother me. You guys calm down your microphones and your PA systems. That doesn't bother me anymore. The lighting, it took us 2 years to resolve, but that was because of the prior administration didn't care. But we won. We got that resolved. I'm going to ask for no additional lighting past what they have existing now.
That's already been.
And I believe I heard that.
That is on the site plan.
So, but I'm just asking to have what I have, no dust. If you want to keep it that far back, then I suggest paving the whole thing, because that's the only way you're going to keep the dust down. You want to add costs? We can add costs. Pave the whole thing. That's what you want, Doug. I don't want the dust. I don't want the noise. You don't live there. You don't know.
So after 5 o'clock, it's very, very rare we're ever there.
It doesn't matter, but it doesn't, very, very rare. I mean, we let you, I understand the snow plowing and the counties and all that stuff and having to work up here. I'm good with that. I do emergency work. I know what it takes to do that on a much larger scale than what you guys do. But I'm just stating, I want my privacy. I don't want the dust. If you're gonna approve that, I suggest it gets paved. And I would like, yes, a whole layer of trees all the way back adjacent to the property and no lighting. And the lean-to moved up to the backside of the proposed other building.
Your changes are duly noted. You've had.
I appreciate it. I'm not here to be an asshole. I just want to take care of my family.
Listen, you've got a significant investment.
Oh, absolutely.
There's no doubt about it, and we have to hear you. You've stated your case. Okay.
Well, I hope I stated it well enough for you guys to understand.
You did. I think everybody understands. This is not a site plan approval meeting. This is only to say that they're staying within the bounds of the original.
Understandable.
Original SLU.
But again, just pave it, move the lean-to up to adjacent to the other new structure they want to put. There's no reason for it to be back that far. Gives you more room to park, parallel, whatever have you. In the tree line, all the way across.
Okay, thank you. Duly noted.
Michael, may I get the spelling of your last name? Would you spell that for me, please? Could you spell your last name?
CICCHINI.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other public comments? Anybody else? Additional comments? Would you like to make a response, Doug? Anything additional? Okay, thank you. It is now 7:54. I'm going to close the public hearing. We'll have our internal deliberation.
Chairman,
Yes, ma'am.
I didn't get anything in writing, but I did get a verbal. I have the neighbor to the south, and her backyard, or she said from her window, she will be seeing the pool building the most. She just asked for additional screening. Just so she doesn't have to look at it.
That's noted. Thank you. Well, you've all heard the arguments for and against. Anybody have any additional comments, concerns?
For the hours of operation.
To touch on the hours of operation, the current plan of what we're proposing is Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and then Saturday, 7 a.m. to 12 p.m. So what was on the original plan? Just a reference.
I think in the minutes.
In the minutes, it said 6 a.m. to midnight was was going to be allowed.
Where that midnight came into play was for emergency use for snow plow. And that was a discussion, I guess was just wanted to bring up on the original hours, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. with snow emergency hours when needed to 12 p.m. That was on the plan. So that's where the, but that should definitely be a point of clarification. That was discussed at some point, that it was not going to be typical hours of operation. There would be an emergency as needed basis for the snow plowing and for emergencies.
And I know we don't have our ordinance enforcement officer here, but have we had any complaints with noise, dust, lighting?
The only complaint was the lighting, and it was,
addressed in
yeah.
the
lighting
distant
had
past?
to- Yeah, had to, like, you know.
Shade them or screen them or
Yeah.
something? Okay. Any,
So the confirmed hours are 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 12 noon
yes,
on Saturday.
yes.
And then-
Where did that come from?
Those hours?
Yeah,
They're on the sites.
7 to 5?
Says,
The new site plan?
the new
No.
site plan, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 12 noon on Saturday.
We're not changing the hours. We gotta go with the old, whatever's in there. I don't know where Rick got that from.
So what are the hours you're requesting?
Well, we're typically out there at 5, but sometimes we're there till 6, 7 o'clock at night.
5 a.m.
Just wanna leave it the
to
same way that it was.
5 a.m. to when?
So 7 a.m.
So,
7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
yeah,
And then on Saturday?
depending. So we're trying not to work Saturdays, but 8 o'clock till at least 1 o'clock.
So we're changing it from 7 to noon to 8 to 1.
So
Yes.
in the public hearing from 2014, shows they will be open 6 days a week from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. with hours to midnight during the winter in case emergency repairs needed to perform. That's in the original 2014 hearing.
Wait a minute.
We're,
So
we're getting three different numbers here.
We need-
This, as it pertains to the SLU, that is what we have to go with.
That's
in
right,
here.
7 to 7,
Yes.
6 days, Monday through Saturday.
That is the current special land use now. Because it is a special land expansion, you can revisit that. But that was included the original special land use. There have not been any complaints with that condition. But that is the ability to review that. That's what the applicant wants to keep that. Right, so there haven't been any complaints with those hours. But I just want to clear, with the special land use, you can revisit those components.
Not finding where the 7 a.m.
Yeah,
to.
where did you see
Where's
that?
that at?
This is crazy.
It says page 2, but it's under public hearing 14-002 continued.
Yep, okay.
It's in the first paragraph, about 2/3 of the way down.
Page 2, Nick.
Well, it says page 2.
It's in the
but It's not
motion?
really page 2.
Well, there's a page 2 written at the top.
Yes,
Is that where you're at?
yeah,
Oh,
like second from the back.
But is it written in the motion or is it just written in a paragraph?
It's in the public hearing discussion.
Oh, it's,
Oh, so it's
Oh,
not
there's
in the
two
motion.
pages. There's 2 page 2s.
Right, so it's the second page 2.
Okay.
Second page 2.
What's that?
July
9,
2014.
2014,
Yep, July 9.
14-002 continued.
6 days a week, 7 A to 7 P. Hours up to midnight in winter.
And that falls in line with the special land use of the approved site plan that's on the original approved site plan, 7 to 7, Monday through Saturday, weather emergencies up to midnight.
okay, all right, that's,
So that's on the original site plan and then this got modified.
Yeah, they're saying
You're saying this site plan is incorrect.
they want to stay in the original, that was approved as part of the special land use site plan.
So 7 to 7
7 to 7 with weather emergencies to midnight.
and 8 to 1 on Saturday. He just said he wanted 8 to 1.
No, they said they
This is 6
just
days a
wanted
week.
They want to leave it the
7.
same, 7 to 7.
So the site plan is incorrect.
But he just said he wants it 8 to 1.
Then he changed his mind again. All right, what's your final answer?
Hold
7
it,
to
yeah.
7?
I
What
want
did
to
you
stay
say?
the way it already is.
Okay.
We're not changing anything. We're not adding lighting, we're not adding trees. That's, remove the fence and build some buildings. Fix the drainage. And then the drainage.
Okay. So to clarify or to finalize, the original site plan, not what's proposed here on this paper, is 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., 6 days a week, with special conditions regarding emergencies from 6 a.m., or with 5 a.m., I'm sorry, to 12 midnight.
Saturdays, noon to 1, or I mean, 7 AM to 1 or whatever it was. I don't think Saturdays were 7 to 7.
6 days, yep.
It's in the original motion, we found it.
Yeah, it's 6 days.
Nothing stacked hard in the fence line.
Anybody?
So I'm kind of new to the zoo here, so I'd like to know, the storage that's in front of the business is different from the storage in the back of the business. How? So you've got all these trucks in front of the business now when I drive down Van Dyke. How is that differing from what you're going to be storing behind?
I'm sorry.
We have a resale lot. We have a auto dealer's license, so we resell trucks. And then we have that all approved for display for our merchandise that we do install on trucks for the other business.
So that was approved with this special land use?
Yes,
That was approved the original site.
yes.
Okay, all right.
Is a outdoor sales.
Just as outdoor
Sales
sales,
display.
and then the back is outdoor storage?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then, is there a reason why you've got that proposed cold storage on the south side? Is it feasible to move it?
For drainage. It's easier to get the water off the roof of the building into the new drainage pond. The extended drainage pond.
South side.
This
And the
cold
south side of
storage
the
building?
fence.
Oh, yeah, the one in the,
the
it'll be
cold
the
storage.
southwest, the southwest
The one that she
corner.
was complaining about as far as looking at her,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the only one.
because it's right in within the fence, so there's not gonna be any place to put screening there if we wanted to.
The
accommodate.
fence is screening.
The fence is screening,
Yeah,
but it's
Yeah.
over top of the fence.
Yeah, but
right?
yes.
Yes, the building will be taller.
And then the gravel, I know that you're within your 40-foot setback on the north side. I mean, and I know what was here before, I grew up in Almont, so I know this was a hangar at one time. But we're going into the north 40-foot setback all the way, and I get why we are, but we don't have to continue that. So in the back where the storage impacts into the 40-foot setback, is there anything that prohibits that from?
Before the setbacks for structure does allow for driving aisles, parking.
Perfect, thank
That's
you.
why it was in the original application.
Very good, thank you.
And they're showing the parking on the north side there.
So I had dust, you asked that. I had the hours of operation, we got that answered. Variance for the expansion of the gravel, that was a variance. Is there another variance that's required since we're expanding
No,
this?
because
I don't believe so because the ordinance has changed the way the planning commission.
And that was your
can make
point to that?
Can make that determination.
it's more lenient now than when they
It's a
originally.
site plan consideration where the planning commission can determine if that's adequate.
Perfect, okay, those are my questions. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Any thoughts, concerns, any additional thoughts, concerns?
Just what is the spacing between the future building and the fence? Because I'm certain it's not gonna be on it, like it shows on here. 10 feet?
Probably. Yeah, you don't want to build it right on the fence.
I just didn't know how much space was gonna be between the building and the fence, because on here it shows it on the fence.
Oh, the proposed
Yeah,
lean-to?
the lean-to.
The existing building that's in the southwest corner where it's currently, the fence runs to the building.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no way to put any screening on that south side engineering. Is there anything engineering wise that would prevent them from putting any type of arborvitae's or any?
Just like along the west line where they were moving what they had to do before, now they're moving to the west line. Yeah, you can put it outside that fence area. Because they currently have the screen slats in there, they're proposing to continue that, but because the west side faces residents to the west, that's why the additional trees are put in there. So they're proposing to maintain that. That's outside of the fenced area. So yeah, there's, engineering wise, there is an existing drainage swale that already goes through, but that can be, it'd be a minor reroute for a little bit, that's what it was.
Or you can put the screening on the south side of that swale,
Yes.
right? And just leave it where it's at, because he wants his building to be able to drain into that, so that would work.
That's true.
Yeah, we're trying to make this all so they can take the hay off too, over on that side. I hate to put trees way out in the middle of the field for screening.
Just an option to put it out there, or put it up next to fencing, or fencing that, that's something.
Rather not put any.
That's a
We
consideration.
got an 8-foot fence going up with screening.
So
The person in the back house, I don't know them, but, you know, they've got dump trucks and stuff back there, and they've been cleaning trees out, and now they're driving on my property, so they got a spot that they can drive a pickup or a side-by-side through, so that's probably what they're seeing through. I went back there and there's tracks all over from the neighbor,
So
the one that wants the screening.
you're having a trespassing issue? That's, I mean.
Yeah,
that's a
I haven't
separate
called
issue,
law on
it's-
it, but yeah, there's trespassing.
I called you twice on that, your office, so people were back there in the middle of the night.
Did you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, because they're coming back behind my house too.
Yeah, I see they went all the way behind United
They
and
go all, yeah, they go all the way down there. I walked out there and looked.
it's not you, is it, Dave?
Baker. The guy with the dump truck, Baker.
Is that who it is? Yeah. I don't know.
Okay, you get back on track here.
But yeah,
So the fence will not terminate at the building. The building will be enclosed.
the
by
fence will go all the way back out and be squared off. There'll be a building built on the inside of it.
That is how it is shown now.
You make the building 5, is that what you're talking about?
Proposed
No,
lean-to.
6, 7, actually.
That's number 7, the one in the southwest
Oh,
corner.
yeah, it's shown up there, as far as I'm concerned. Right?
The proposed lean-to, yeah.
Yeah.
The fence is around it.
But it terminates at building, no, it doesn't, I'm sorry.
It terminates at 5 right now on each end of
It's 5,
5.
and I just wanted to clarify that was not going to be the case.
Yeah.
It is shown as going around the.
Thank you, Doug.
Has a public hearing been closed, there's no more.
The public hearing has been closed, yes. I don't recall the time.
7:54.
7:54. Yes, it was closed. Okay.
In consideration too, one thing to keep in mind, if this goes forward, new conditions, whatever it may be, but this is an expansion of an existing special land use. So if this is a direction the plan commission goes where you're okay with this, you want to add stuff to it, that's fine. What I recommend is that it's an expansion of the existing special land use and conditions. So to keep everything that was in there before, still on a special land use, so you're not rewriting everything on special. You may add something.
Right.
If you want a screening or you want to talk something, you know, that no additional lighting will be part of this.
Right.
But just to be clear, Brett, so you don't want to reiterate everything that was done on the first time, you can just, they're expanding everything the commission had before. So now this is the no new lighting. If you're looking at the screening, you're good with it, that's fine. If you want to talk about that, that's fine. Just to the condition of expansion of all existing stipulation of special land use.
Anybody like to propose a motion?
Well, I'd like to discuss something.
Versus,
So,
You have neighbors, you've been here a long time, he's been here a long time. How much is it gonna cost you to put some more trees and make them happy? Can you do that? You're expanding, you're making money, I see your cars everywhere.
I'd rather not. We planted so many trees on this the first time. Those trees screening back there are beautiful. They're probably pushing
But you're
60
coming
feet.
closer, you're coming closer back. So how
The
much is
trees
it
have
gonna
grown
cost you?
too. They used to be with spaces in between them. Now you can't see a wall for 60 feet tall. How much more do you need?
Give me a bigger barrier.
Just wants a few more trees for a better
I'm gonna
barrier.
have metal banks.
I mean, go to American Tree across the street. Be a neighbor, be a good businessman,
Well,
please.
Andrea, the public hearing's closed,
I'm just saying,
I-
that's my
and-
discussion with our
okay.
board.
but internally, we're at our discussion point in here. So if you'd like to make a motion to address that, I would entertain that, and we can vote on that. Expansion of the of the current SLU to include the proposed changes by STE on the site plan that is dated June 4th, 2025. That,
And received 8/13. I didn't stamp it.
yes, okay, is that the stamp right there? Yeah.
Right here on this
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. So, yes. If that's your proposal, I would entertain it.
Okay, I would like, go ahead.
I'll say one thing to keep in mind too, when the original proposal went through, there were some concerns of the neighbor to the south. So there were basically four trees planted along that opening, you can see them on the site plan. For where the opening of that area is, so that was done, it wasn't as intensive because there was existing tree line there also. But they definitely did plant an additional 4 evergreens along that south opening right there.
Per house.
For
For each
across
house,
the
right?
households. Yeah.
To block 2 houses there.
Are they still there?
Yes.
They're shown on the amended site plan.
Well, I want to make sure that we're dealing with the special land use and not the site plan. We're gonna,
Pardon me?
there's two issues here, the site plan and special land use.
The site plan is, we're talking about the site
Special land
plan,
use.
the additional storage and buildings as they pertain to the SLU only. This is not an approval of the site plan.
Project.
This is only as it pertains to the existing SLU. Will the expansion satisfy
The 4
the
characteristics.
4 characteristics?
of Article 5.
I would like to move to approve the special land use expansion, with no additional lighting, an additional row of screening trees to the neighbor to the west. What was the additional that the neighbor to the south needed? Did they need additional?
They just asked for some type of diversion.
Screening to the neighbor of the, screening to the neighbor to the south. According to the June 6th, 2025 plans received on August 13th, 2025.
The motion on the floor is to accept the special land use extension to include the site plan as presented with additional screening to the west that is consistent with the west screening currently there, and to the south with the screening that was put in place at the previous site plan review, consistent with that.
And no additional lighting.
And no additional lighting.
The only note I would add is the date you referenced.
The
That's
date.
reference the August 5th revision date. It is the June 4th, but that was the.
June 4th with the
August 5th.
revision date of
Yes.
August 5th. Okay.
With the June 4th date, revision date of August 5th.
25.
Second that? Waiting for any questions? We have a motion. Anybody care to second?
Can't second that for one person. Tells me a lot
Well,
about this.
hold on. It hasn't been passed. We haven't taken a vote. We're just looking for a second to carry the motion forward.
Everybody looks around at each other. You can't just say, hey, I second it. You have everything else. You second the minutes from the last thing real quick. I'm just asking to protect my family. That's all I'm asking for.
There is a motion on the, there's a current motion on the floor. If it doesn't get seconded, we'll have to make another motion. That's just the way it is. If nobody, I'm going to give it another minute. If it doesn't get seconded, the motion will fail and we'll have to deliberate in some other fashion.
It's gonna be millions of dollars. to disrupt my family.
I think you owe
Oh, I hope her-
Ms. Barra,
thank you so much. I love
respect.
you. You're fantastic for
her
doing
respect for
I appreciate
making the
that.
motion
I wish the
and
rest of
and
you
acquiescing to
cared
your
about my family
desires.
like you do. I really do, because Kim Street was the same way. Kim fought and fought and fought. And beat these guys for me.
It's 8:18, the motion fails. So any further deliberation, any other further considerations?
That's the problem here. Be ashamed of yourselves.
Please.
Trying to make a living for
Hold it, hold it.
Shame
Hold
on
it. Hey,
Shame on
water,
you.
hey,
You're gonna be your bullshit.
Hey,
All I'm asking for is
You're
bullshit.
Look at it, he's I'm gonna ask you, sir, to leave, if you can. Okay, if you can't,
You go home and sleep good tonight if you don't.
I'll sleep just fine.
Because that tells me what this board thinks. It's about the money.
I haven't received this.
I'm sorry, I could take so much of that. I've been
that-
with this guy since we was young.
The public hearing is over, public comments are over. He left, he's not disruptive. Now, I understand both sides. You both have tremendous investments. Do we have any other motions? Has anybody determined or would like to entertain an additional motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the SLU as submitted, making sure to note that there's no new exterior lighting and hours will stay the same as the original special land use.
Clarify, that's an expansion of the existing special.
Expansion of the
Expansion.
existing. Yes.
Okay.
With plans received.
Miss-
June-
Plans received
Dated June 4th.
June 4th,
amended-
August.
I will restate all that
5th,
for the record.
Stamped August 13th.
I will restate all that. So as the motion stands, it's an extension of the SLU, which I do not have the current number, and I apologize for that. I believe that's, is it 814-002?
2002.
At 4310 Van Dyke, Almont, to extend the SLU to encompass the additional building 6 and 7 with no additional lighting, with a gravel surface, no additional screening other than moving the existing screening and moving the fences in accordance with the site plan.
Support.
Motion has been supported by Tracy. Any additional comments?
Is there a need to reference the 4 standards in Article 5?
Yes. Unfortunately, I don't have them
Corey gave them
verbatim.
to us in his review
Yeah.
letter.
It's on the front page.
Yeah. Follow me, Nick?
Yeah. On the first page.
Basically, meeting the 4 standards.
Oh, that's wrong, sorry.
So I have 1, 2, 3.
Yeah,
4,
I'm trying to find the right page. Oh, okay.
Got it?
Here, yeah, okay. Considering the characteristics of the, number 1, the proposed special land use, such as that the location, size, layout, periods of operation, and character will not be reasonably detrimental to the surrounding neighborhood or create unacceptable off-site impacts due to traffic, dust, noise, fumes, vibration, smoke, or lights. Number 2, the characteristics of the proposed special land use are such as the location, size, layout, periods of operation, and character will not be reasonably interfere with or discourage the appropriate development and use of adjacent land and buildings or unreasonably affect their value. The proposed use is so designed, located, planned, and to be operated that the public health, safety, and welfare will be protected. The proposed use shall be in harmony with the general purpose and intent of the zoning ordinances and the township master plan. So those are up for discussion based on the motion. Any additional comments, thoughts, concerns? Did we?
I recommended the motion be amended to include that you found it did satisfy items 1 through 4 of the special land use. So it's in your minutes.
Would you like to amend the motion?
Sure.
To include that?
Amend it to include the special land use considerations 1 through 4 from section 5.
Thank you. So amended. Let's take a roll call vote.
Dennis?
Excuse me. We always start with the author of the motion, and then the person who supported it, and then Randall, and the chair is always last. Nick?
Yes.
Tracy?
Yes.
Andrea?
No.
Bonnie?
Yes.
Dennis?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Kevin?
Yes. Motion carries. SLU extension has been approved. Thank you.
Correct.
No, we have not got into the site plan yet. I propose a 3-minute recess. So everybody can get their bearings, stretch your legs. It's been a long meeting so far, and it may extend beyond that, what we anticipated. It is 8:25. We'll convene at 8:28. Reconvene at 8:28.
Well, a little on him.
Yeah.
He should have brought pictures, should have brought something looking out his back window to prove his point. He didn't. No.
It's 1 feet. And another 300 feet.
375.
There you go. So we haven't even, and it's got that whole screening. Yeah. To add more screening, I think it's just.
I agree.
You tell us really worried about you for that. It's easier to capture.
Pardon?
He should have bought.
I honestly don't know.
Way out
Where's what?
in the back.
Some truck is going 5 feet of it.
Exactly. That's my point.
And I was here for the whole thing, it was never easy, so I'm not gonna go for it.
And I'm not, the
What's
key
his
thing for
property?
me was the dust.
It's
There was
given
complaints on the
develop his
dust.
property.
I would have.
The prevailing winds are from the west.
We gotta watch the speakers.
Yeah, that's true.
Prevailing winds are from the west.
Watch the cord.
Thank you.
Ida, is the special land use number 14002?
That was the original. This is 25, what is it, 0?
Yeah, I read that.
$25,003. Yeah, the minutes are going to be changed.
Can we mute these things? How do you mute these things?
They are. Take your time.
Or maybe do it this way like Randy does, so you can't even.
But it still get you, doesn't it? I'm not used, I just talk anyway.
You gotta send.
Well, yeah, but the people at home, when the microphone's like that, it's really hard to hear.
Cap 2.
Yeah, so you really do need to bring that thing around. I know, and microphone.
So anyways.
8:29, let's reconvene, please. Okay, agenda. Where did my agenda? Say again? The site plan review is not on the agenda. That is correct. New business. I think, yeah, the site plan review was not on the agenda, but I believe it was left off unintentionally. I believe it should have been on there, so let's move on to that. We have several reviews from our professional contractors, professional service contractors, Corey, the engineer, and from Davis Land Surveying and from Rowe. Has everybody had time to review those? And also from the fire department. There is a letter from the fire department. If you haven't had time to review it, I'll summarize from site plan review Southern Truck. from our chief, fire chief, Smith. The owner will be required to complete an Almont Township Fire pre-task plan information document at some point before the completion. A 30-foot wide fire lane is required at least on 3 sides of the building, which is an interesting development. The fire lanes need to be indicated on the site plans. Proper signage and/or striping is required. The existing facility is completely fenced in. Is drawing unclear. The owner should be aware that there are no parking or storage in a fire lane. Needs to have a fire alarm system that reports to a 24-hour monitoring station, and provide a statement of use for these additions on the site plan. So knowing that, plus the lack of building elevations and side elevation, front and side elevation, front and rear side elevations. I don't think we have enough information to continue on the site plan review based on the fire chief and the requirements for the elevations.
The elevations, we turned in drawings of the building to Ida. That's the one, and a couple weeks ago, we gave you the one for the building. Drawing 6.
Does that satisfy the engineering requirements?
The plan requires to have steel, material, height, components, enough dimensions. So this has most of the components, and it's really something that the planning commission this indicates the height of the building, overhang, gray steel sheeting to match existing buildings, roof pitch, and it has a general floor plan which appears to be just open with more dividers internally.
There might be a shop office in there and stuff later on, but that's with the building department, correct?
Yeah, no, that would have to be part of the site plan, the basic floor plan. You're gonna have an office in there, bathroom, and cold storage. Basically, it's like that. We have to show what's gonna be in there. That's gonna be
We'll just leave it empty.
So this is not too specific for this part. They want it to be stamped, signed, and sealed. They do for building permits. So it's a matter of planning commission. If this is what planning commission's okay with, then that's fine. If you need more detail, that's fine. But this was provided at stamp August 5th. And then this being the coop structure, now this was, I think it was yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, this is the typical.
Yes. Now,
Oh.
will that be constructed concurrently with the other building, or is that a future? Because we have.
Yeah, he had future on there. It's gonna be done soon.
Well, that's a clarification, like, planning commission should understand, if this is what's being proposed tonight, that's what you review is what it's gonna be. If you're not sure if it's gonna be something different, then you wanna make sure it's that way. So it does call it out as a lean-to future, which that can be clarified tonight. But again, this portion of it, you can consider, because this has the different sides on it. This shows 2 of the sides, so really, the ordinance isn't specific that it has to be signed, sealed, elevation drawings. It's have to have elevation drawings and basic floor plan. So if it satisfies, the planning commission is comfortable that this is what will be done, and that's fine. If you need more in general, specific detail, that's fine also.
That style of building is what we're intending on putting up for the storage. Don't know the manufacturer yet. We're getting quotes on it right now. That style is what we're looking at.
How, and this may have to be part of a stipulation or a contingency. How are you planning to address the fire lane issue? Have you given that any thought yet?
Well, on the gravel, they never give us any issues last time with the building 5 out there. We've got a paint shop out back. Building 5 is currently a paint shop. We gotta drive our trucks in and out of there, so basically it's the same way. It's, you can get at it. 3 sides in the fire lane, but it's not marked the fire lane. They never required us to do that. Yeah, it's on gravel.
So it has to be signed or something.
I'll give you the map. We can put signs up.
I'm just addressing, this will be a definite holdup to moving forward. I want to understand how you're going to address that without any final say. We can't, we can't.
We can do
Yeah.
signage.
Okay.
Can't really paint the gravel.
Of course not, of course not.
But we can do signage.
Yeah.
There's only 20 feet between,
You only have to have 30 feet on 3 sides, man.
Proposed building 6 appears to be on the east, north, and west. It's a question on the lean-to on that portion.
That's, I was just getting to that.
Or the food building, so
Or building 5.
that's currently on.
Building five.
Along the outside of the fence, right? It's gonna be close to the fence. I can move it in 30 feet if I need to.
But the other 3 sides are open.
20 feet though, not 30.
Okay.
So they might have to move that proposed building over 10 feet, I think is what Bonnie was.
Okay, yes.
but he's saying that he's got 30 feet on the west side, 30 feet on the north side.
Of the proposed.
But he's gonna
building.
have, of the proposed building, yes.
But when the proposed building's 20 feet from building 5, that cuts off your third side from building 5. Your proposed building may need to go 10 feet.
Let's put it at 30 foot. That's not a big deal.
Proposed building 6 will meet it on the east, north, and west. It's 20 feet from the south. The other 3 should meet that requirement. It's the access to the lean-to would have to have another side to it.
But then he's gonna have to clear that 30 feet all the way around.
Right,
On
at
3
least
sides.
3 sides.
And
Yeah.
maybe he's better off moving it 10 feet to the north so he doesn't have to clear something. He's got stuff all the way around that except for on
Right.
the west side.
Well, that's, yeah.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Stay on the
He's
fence.
right up against this building on 2 sides.
What
So
thing you talking about, man?
proposed building, not the lean-to.
Okay, 6. So if you're using the east side, that 30 feet right next to it where your bays are going in and out would have to be maintained clear.
Yeah.
So I mean, you want to be able to park vehicles, putting vehicles in there, that concrete apron would destroy the fire line. Now, if you move that building 10 feet further north,
That would
then that would
be
take that away, you'd have your other third side, you wouldn't have to strike that.
perfect.
So-
You're thinking,
So I think that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
More
If
sense.
you kick it that way.
Yeah, I think that's,
And it would maintain your 30 feet for building 5, which you currently don't have.
correct. Yep, perfect.
Now, addressing the lean-to, you've only got 2 sides.
Right.
Uh,
Again, move that to the north.
You either have to move it to the north
Or
or the
fence.
east, or move the fence another 30 feet.
Let's move the fence back 30 more.
yeah, the fence camera.
I don't think so.
Right, yeah,
So
so,
not even go there.
yeah. That's,
We can move that building 30 feet to the north, that way it gives us 3 sides. There's no issue whatsoever.
I gotta say, I'm really challenged on this site plan. There's a lot of issues with the site plan. This does not reflect what you're telling us you're gonna do.
I'm sorry, what,
Well, you got a lean-to or you got a hoop house. You're moving buildings. The planning commission is not in the situation to design site plans. We're here to approve them. And so this one needs a lot of work, sir. In my mind, the hours of operation aren't correct.
They are correct. They've been
but
changed.
no.
Well, they're different from the
No,
special
it's
land.
Rick went and put his own hours in.
We just picked these up today. So.
I think there's a lot.
Can we have a contingent to moving 2 buildings a few feet?
There's a lot of contingencies. I don't,
Yeah.
that was up to the planning commission.
Well, someone make a motion
Question I have for the motion is, this building and this building, you said you're not at a point yet that you have a final, this is what we're doing for sure. It's this style. You don't have everything put together yet.
Correct.
This, I'm saying, because the way this was done, you probably don't have architectural plans on these yet.
They're not drawn, no.
So
We're working with engineers now.
the reason I'm saying that is you have a window that these, you still have to get these done. You have your special land, so you know going forward, as long as you meet site planning and stuff, you're fine. So by the time these get done, this can be done, it can all be done, and it's not gonna cost you time. Okay, that's my point. It will cost you.
We can start on the trees and the fence, is what you're saying? Because what was approved earlier?
If they postpone this, if they do, it goes to the next week, so it'll cost you another meeting here. But you know where the concerns are, what it is. This does need to have some cleanup on it. They can do contingencies if they want, but there are some items in here. But like I said, with the work that has to still be done here, you still would have, the time window's not gonna cost you time. It shouldn't cost you time. If it does, it might be, if you get these done in 2 weeks, you got one more week and a half to be back here with this.
We can hold a special meeting if you're willing to foot the cost for the special meeting, if you get all that done sooner. We can do that. That's an option.
Yeah, it's not unusual to have this and the contingencies work, but there is some unease with this because of what we're talking about, where this isn't really like final out yet. Things which,
You do a great job of explaining it, I appreciate that. My question is, can we start on the fence and the gravel work and stuff? Get started on that, because that's gonna take a long time before we can start building these buildings.
yeah, that part I'm sure you can. So once you get site plan approval, you get this part done, then we have to have our pre-construction meeting. We go through that dance like we did before. And then you can start, once all that's in place, because you're still gonna have bonds and different things you put up during construction. And then once that's in place, then you can go to town with it. But that's a step you gotta do. Either way, if you wanna set up a meeting like that, and everything's in here to the township ahead of time, we can tentatively set up a meeting right after the next month's PC, not to say it'll happen if there's still issues. But we've done that before, where everything's set up as long as all the dominoes fall in a row. But, without having site plan approval, even a contingent approval is not gonna allow you to do that. You still have to go through and get site plan approval. All contingent approval does is basically make it so you don't have to come back for another meeting. It doesn't, you still can't start it with contingent approval.
I would desperately ask that we have a approval with contingencies and fixing the few little things.
I would entertain a motion if anybody
Couple dimensions.
would like to make a motion.
And some signage.
We didn't get through the planner. We're gonna do the planners one or no?
We can go through the planners review as well. I don't, it's a glaring bloodbath. Some of it matters, some of it doesn't.
I would move to table the site plan. I have no idea what the numbers are. 25003.
We have a motion on the floor to table the site plan 25003.
Support.
Allow the applicant to address the issues in the several reviews from Rowe, Davis, and Fire Department, and bring the site plan up to the requirements.
Motion has been supported by Ms. Kraus. Any additional discussion or thoughts? Anything you want to add? Yes, ma'am.
I just want to know, is there a time?
That's up to them.
Table it for 30 days, come back next month, or?
Well, if they desire to have a special meeting, that would be their time that they would do that before the September.
I guess.
But
Is if the engineer says this is good, they've addressed everything, then it goes back on the agenda?
You can put it up to 90 days. It has to be 90 days, it could be 2 days.
No problem. Up to 90 days.
I'll amend my support.
If they come in tomorrow with everything, then it's fine. It just puts a window where you're gonna revisit it if nothing happens after 90 days.
Okay. We have a motion by Mr. Swears to table 25003 for up to 90 days that has been supported by Bonnie Kraus. Do you have any discussion, any additional thoughts, anything you want to add? Okay. Take a roll call vote, please. Ms. Secretary.
Yes. Bonnie?
Yes.
Andrea?
Yes.
Ben?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Tracy?
Yes.
Kevin?
Yes. Okay, gentlemen, you've got your work cut out for you. We appreciate your time. We're glad we were able to at least help you resolve some of the issues.
Appreciate that.
And we hope to get this moving forward for you as quickly as we can. We can convene a special meeting if you, say you go to your architect tomorrow or your engineers and they whip it all out by Monday morning, we would be able to have a special meeting a week following. So just as a general example.
And what I would say is that a lot of these issues are not earth-shattering or changing to the plan, but there are specific things that typically moving a building here to here. The hours are important to this special land use. Like we had confusion earlier trying to determine what they are. So those type of things really should be cleaned up. I don't think any of them are major. Obviously yourself or Mr. Bella can call our office. So these were turned in on Friday. I didn't realize I was looking today. A lot of the changes they had on these, just for the commission to know, do satisfy my requirements. There's a few that still are questionable. I think they satisfy a lot of those that they had. I'm glad to theirs too.
Mhm.
But it was for that to look at it Friday. If you get something done by this Friday or next Monday, we have a lot of time. I'm looking to working through.
We've had experiences with contingencies because they're hard to track. And our records have to reflect 10 years from now what we actually did.
So I think you went through a little bit of what we're trying to do at the beginning of this, to make sure we had all these special land uses approved, so we're not rehashing that whole thing. So,
Appreciate your business.
There are fees involved with the special meeting if you decide to go with that. So I'm not exactly, I can't quote what they are, but Ida would be happy to clarify those when she's available.
thanks everybody for their time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Appreciate it.
Well, that's my agenda now.
Okay. Planning Commission bylaws.
Can I guess a question regarding the Sherlock storage? Is he withdrawing or just not? Is that?
He's withdrawing at this time.
Okay.
But
Do you
completed.
actually have a application in, or is it just fishing for feedback?
I think he's fishing for
That's
feedback.
what I thought. It's really not a withdrawal, it's just I'm not gonna come and talk.
Yeah,
It looks like he did what he wanted to discuss anyways.
yeah.
Like the day after the last meeting that he didn't show up for.
Yeah.
They did what he.
That quarter's been looked at many times. Well, a couple times.
There's also purchasing, or in the process of purchasing, where United Lawnscape is, so there may be a different location, so he just said, hold that.
And I can touch on that when I leave the report.
Yeah.
Discussion item then.
Okay, well, moving on to the Planning Commission bylaws.
Yes.
Article 8, Section E. And I did notice a typo while we were going through it earlier about the secretary. Where was it at?
I did notice that Dennis's change didn't get made. Somebody's change didn't get made. There was one change. Kevin's change, B, on section 7-1, B, that never got changed. It's supposed to be the chairman shall appoint all members of advisory committee, and it still says committees of advisory committees. If this is can we date these? It's really hard to keep.
Yeah, I'm battling with several,
What page is that?
Well, now that you're
It's page-
secretary, you get to do that.
Hot diggity.
see, that's the old.
Page 5, bottom of page 5, Article 7, duties of the officers. B, Kevin wanted to change the chairman shall appoint all members of advisory committees, and it still remains committees of advisory committees.
Where, say it again?
Okay, bottom of page 5.
Yep.
Yeah.
Article 7, B.
This is not, this has been changed, that's been fixed. This is not ours, this is not the latest.
This is, yeah,
That's the one that you sent me, so.
No, it isn't.
this one says October 12th. What I have here is November of 24, so there should be
Date
one
on yours?
at the top.
Revision dates.
At the top.
This is 2022.
Mine's 2022, and this is
Mine's
November of
2024.
2024.
Mine's November of 2024. Is there one after?
All right, well, it's apparent there's some revision documentation control that
Yeah, I'll take a look.
is,
Because this one, when the version I've got, when you were reading the job of the secretary,
yes.
I've got A, B, and C. You read A, B, C, and D.
Oh, good. Something less? Cool.
It's just condensed.
I will redistribute this tomorrow.
There was a,
Just give it to Bonnie, she's the secretary.
She's probably got it. I think I gave it to everybody.
The corrected one?
yeah,
Yes.
okay. Well, there was
Just
a,
redistribute it.
there was another typo in this secretary, and I can't find it right now.
I found it.
In the 2024 version?
Yes, because that's what I was reading from.
That's-
Yeah, right here. Item C, the absence oof disability. Should be absence of.
Too many O's.
Yep, that was it, right there.
I got a headache.
All right, let's we'll address that at a future meeting. There's some glaring discrepancies in what versions we have, so let's move that on, please. All
I
right,
never get these corrected.
old business, the subcommittee is still on hold, barring any updates with the planner, is that correct?
We are working with a Ben Keller at Rowe, and the team leader indicated to us, we did have a meeting with Rowe, Kevin, me, and Gary, indicated that unless we signed a contract, they would not provide a coverage. Nick, to your question, was confusing because we did get one on Southern Truck. What she meant was they would not provide somebody sitting in the seat next to Corey. On special projects, we're going to continue with the solar ordinance with Ben Keller. The township has approved the hiring of Wade Trim, and Caitlin will be returning as our professional planner, as a Wade Trim representative. And I don't know where that contract stands. I believe the board approved it Monday night. And Gary was going to forward and sign a contract with Wade Trim. So Caitlin will be returning September, I'm pretty sure. The question, Bonnie and I had a long teleconference with Ben Keller at Rowe, who took over the solar ordinance from Alex. I think he's made some pretty good suggestions. My hope is he's supposed to have that back to us within 2 weeks. And what I'd like to do, we're gonna move forward with whatever he comes back, bring it to the planning commission in September, potential for public hearing, correct, Bonnie? I'm reluctant to turn it over to another planner because even going from Alex to Ben, there was some differences. So the way I look at this is if we can get it into a public hearing in September, everybody take a close look at this. We'd like to move forward with it. And I think it's a pretty solid ordinance. Ben has understood, as did Roe, that our objective is to do everything we can to protect the community if a commercial solar energy was proposed in Almont Township. So it is a tough ordinance, and I think it will protect our community. So at this time, I'm hoping that we see something, Bonnie and I, that reflects all the discussions we've had. It's a long ordinance now. I can't remember how many pages, 8 or 10. If that looks like he's captured the things and his suggestions, then we're gonna move it into you guys in September. That's what I'd like to do with the public hearing. So we should see it in 2 weeks.
We had some things for them tonight. I thought we had to make a motion to amend the definition of accessory and permitted. So we don't have a definition in our ordinance for accessory and permitted. So that's kind of an issue when you get into the table of use, because if it's accessory, what does that mean? If it's permitted, what does that mean? What does it mean to be accessory? So we're going to have to update some definitions along with this so that when somebody looks at this ordinance and they see that it's accessory, they know exactly what that means. And then we were going to talk about, we were eliminating it from C1 and C2 and only doing C3 in I and ag.
Right.
So.
But I think we made the decision to do that.
Okay, I had it written down. Okay,
She's
sorry.
right on the accessory. We do have a definition of accessory building. in the
That would all be part of that process. I don't think there's anything we can do with that tonight.
Right, so, right, okay.
I guess are those definitions going in the solar ordinance?
No.
They're going in the zoning ordinance?
Requires a
I would
whole
make a
separate.
Suggestion that we talk to Caitlin as to proper procedure, because whenever there's a text amendment, we have to hold a public hearing. We have to publish it in the paper, and.
That's a whole separate.
That's a whole separate thing.
But we're going to be amending the ordinance anyway with the solar ordinance. That's going to be part of the zone.
I know, but
So
if
it's-
Caitlin is coming in, she needs to know these so that she's.
You do all of this at one time though, because you can amend all these sections of the ordinance.
I'm not disagreeing or arguing with you, I'm just saying that there's a procedure that we, the planning commission has to follow to make sure that we do it correctly.
Right. Because there's other definitions that we're adding. We're amending the use table.
Yeah.
So there, yeah, we're touching more than just that one solar section. So there's going to be other updates to the ordinance.
But I think Caitlin can address those.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're right. Kevin, it is a little bit separate.
Yeah.
It's a challenge when it comes to accessories versus permitted in a residential home. Comes into playing the whole thing. Yeah.
But the ordinance only applied to, it doesn't apply to residential. It does.
Not for the commercial farms, but there's already residential in there that we've addressed.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I understand.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought we were talking just commercial, but.
Nope. No.
I didn't, did our residential get off track somewhere? Must have, obviously, or was deficient in some area?
We're trying to update it to think about, as technology changes, those arrays are going to get smaller, hopefully, and where they're going. And there was just some things that we looked at, roof mounted, grounds, all that stuff. So.
All right, wonderful.
Yep.
Okay, moving on to our planner report. We don't have one. Engineer report, anything new? Mr.
Yeah, I'll give you an update from monthly update, but basically the Jimmy's mini storage is progressing. They, I think, have 3 building pads put together. We've approved the aggregate subgrade around those buildings so they can work on it and not tear it back up. Cell tower, they have a lot of their ground infrastructure and they're working on the tower itself.
Thank you.
And the electrical, I think, is where they had a little hang up on that. There has been some good concerns by the property owner. I have not addressed those yet. They're mainly directed at the road commission, but there are some items that concern that the property owner had that where the driveway is located against the existing tree line, was specifically in the site plan that the tree line was going to stay in place, otherwise they'd have to plant trees, screen it. He wants to know who's going to maintain it, can you cut the trees down, because you can't get in there, it's an overhang. Well, the response just, I haven't officially done that, but the response is planning commission, no, if you do that, you're coming back to the planning commission. Because that would be a plan change.
This is Jimmy's storage you're talking
No, this is the,
Cell tower.
the cell tower,
Oh.
or SMJ, or.
Yep.
So he had some concerns with that, he had some concerns with the driveway approach, but again, as a property owner, he got cited by the soil and site department, because he's the owner. But it really falls on the contractor, but he's kind of jumping in and said, well, I want to change this, and that. There's already a approved site plan for that.
Yeah, the owner's ultimately responsible.
Yeah,
So,
ultimately is, and if they want changes to the site plan, then you have to go through that procedure. Because that is specifically, that north tree line was remain in place, was why they didn't have to put additional screening along that driveway back, so. So that's going, other than that, those are the two real active ones.
what is what's the procedure for removing or getting some of these people off bottom dead center on some of these things? It's not, we're not the enforcement board, I understand that, but is there a procedure or something, just for conversation's sake, is there a procedure or something in place to move some of these people off bottom dead center?
Well, some
To
of them
not
are.
name names.
Yeah, some of them are, if the project's technically still open and not completed, not done, usually what you have with that is any monies that are held, any bonds, catch up. A lot of these that are hanging out there, there was a period, the township, I don't know if they were being sued or not, but there was an issue with some being held bonds, so they took the bonds away for a period of some projects, so there really isn't that hammering over some of them. It's not they built the site plan and it doesn't meet the site plan enforcement issue. It's kind of an open thing, so you have to bring them back. Or there is something that we can do as far as an inspection on it. If ordered by a township, we can write in a deficiency to that and make them know, make them come back in, address it. Like I said, there's a couple site plans I haven't taken off of there because I haven't been informed if they're closed, they're gone, they're not. I really don't do any time with them because they just kind of sit where they're at unless I get direction to address them. And being that they are technically an open site plan, I can do that if directed by the township. I can do an inspection, do a report. I obviously don't have any legal enforcement of that. But that's typically where it is. A lot of times that's why we have performance bonds, different things in place, cash bonds to kind of hold that over somebody to make sure they get done.
It's the bonds.
When you meet with the planning commission, makes a motion on a site plan, you're the body who dictates whether a bond is imposed or not. The engineer cannot do that. He can give you a fee, he can,
I understand.
help with that, but according to our ordinance, if the planning commission doesn't request or require a bond,
And slightly on that take is that bonds are required, the planning commission can set the fee, set the amount.
yeah,
So the ordinance requires a bond, planning commission can set that amount.
yep.
So that's where that falls. And then we do that when you get a approval, there's a engineer's estimate. Actually, that's a good point. On the one we had tonight, I missed that on the review, that we need an engineer's estimate for their improvements. So that's what you use to set fees and bonds based off of that. So I have to make a note on that to be
And in the engineering ordinance, there is a formula that the engineer uses, so it's not for picking something out of the air. There is a
Right.
formula for that.
Exactly. Okay.
So is that something that typically,
Something that's a little more direct than you. 99% of the time, everything's fine. It's the 1% that changes everything.
So is that something that you typically recommend to us at the time for a site plan review approval? Is the amount of the
It's at
bond?
the tail end of it, and I will say that the experience typically has been, we just go through get to the estimate at the end, and the bond amount is pretty particular based on the engineer's estimate. It's usually anywhere from 30 to 50% is what it is, depending on the project and the size of what's going on. It doesn't stipulate an amount in the ordinance. I'm just saying past practice, that's where it's been. And a lot of times previously, it's been at direction of the chairman to say, well, this is what it is, we run it by, we do it at the pre-construction. But it says in there that the planning commission can set the amount, so that can be part of a final approval. And it should kind of more set up with the pre-construction meetings, way the real world of it is gone. That direction has nothing to do with the ones that are on the site plan there. That's a little different way of how that got there.
Yeah, so we used to do an annual review. And some of these site plans are clearly expired. I bet about 4 or 5 of them on here expired. So I don't know if doing an annual review is a good idea or a bad idea.
Well, an annual review is for when they apply, so that can't be someone's at the date. When they applied or when it was approved, continuously approved, then that's when that clock starts.
And
It's not in every June.
yeah, I don't want to single anybody out on the record. I agree, so. Okay,
Yeah, there's definitely
Right.
some that could be,
yeah,
to get moving one way or another.
yeah. Okay, thank you.
Oh, and on the hall, I know we had some discussion on it before, and I did provide this just because it was an old plan that we had on file. Obviously, what he wants to do here is fine, but they tried between, I think, a used car, this original, I think, was a blank back in the day, 2001, 2, somewhere maybe older than that. And another use, and they tried to push it into that area, and there's nothing there. Actually, the parking that's there now really isn't, it's grandfathered in. So it's just one of those pieces.
Well, in his correspondence, he did mention something to the effect that the detailing business is he's having to shuffle cars all the time with what parking he currently has designated as parking. So he realizes he's lacking in that area.
And I did see that, so just to get a reference where that was there. I think that's,
Okay, thank you. Zoning Board of Appeals, Bonnie Kraus, the floor is yours.
Nothing to report.
Thank you. Zoning and Building a report from Ida Lloyd.
You heard the gentleman who was looking at buying 4260 Van Dyke, so that may be the next project, but he hasn't made any official application. And Corey had stated tonight, he's got a long way to go before he comes
That's a
before you.
big project.
So, SDE looks like it may, depending on them. So do you want, bylaws back on the agenda and?
Yes, those will be revisited.
Okay. Then I think we need to make sure that Caitlin is, involved, because if we're going to make some changes to our current zoning ordinance, she can help set that up, make sure that we do it properly. You may have suggestions you invite us.
Yeah, we need to have a circle back once that contract is gone, you and I, Kevin, because I did talk to Caitlin, and I got a little follow-up discussion with her. Special projects, she's overloaded, and if she wanted, or I just comments, she would audit our ordinance today. She's suggesting a subcommittee to be set up.
Right.
That might be a way to go. But she wouldn't be able to touch any other special projects before April of 26.
Correct. Good. Yep.
Regular planning commission business, she will be the representative.
Yes.
Site plans and whatnot.
I'm sorry.
Site plans and whatnot.
Yeah. No special, like the
Yeah,
amendments
yeah,
into the not master plan, the zoning ordinance. So,
Special projects, I think.
We got batteries and,
Yeah,
we got the rest
renewable
of-
energies, we were gonna go solar, batteries, wind, and then special product, ordinance 39.
okay. Thank you. Ida, any other general comments from the body at large?
my standard question every meeting, Interpower submit their site plan yet?
That's, in an informal conversation with the owner, they're not certain the direction they're going. They're looking at several different options, so it's not something that's in the immediate future.
But we approved a plan. We approved them at this table.
We did not approve the plan.
We approved them to install this. We wanted it reflected on their site plan.
Well, they've never come in for.
No, we didn't approve a site plan. We merely said it fell within the purview of their current use.
Just wanted the site plan updated to reflect. Yep.
Yeah.
So they haven't come in for any plans? 'Cause
You were gonna reach out last month after have you reached out to them?
No, I asked,
was.
I asked specifically the owner of the property in an informal conversation. He says that's not, it's fell off the map because it's not something they feel is necessary today, and they're looking at other options because of the evolving technologies. So they don't expect to do anything in the near future.
And those meters won't go up unless they get a permit.
Yeah,
They're not gonna get a permit until.
Well, the approval is, correct me if I'm wrong, the approval expires in 12 months if they don't do anything, right?
Yeah.
So-
I'm gonna go back in a minute just to see particularly what it is that you might have, the planning commission might have done, but.
yeah,
I thought it was more you approved the concept of it and not a plan, so.
They didn't present a plan. I just wanted their plan updated, and everybody agreed that the site plan should be updated to reflect them modifying their site plan.
but they've made no progress, nor have had any intention of any immediate progress.
They haven't done that, they can't do it.
They can't do anything.
It's about 9:13. Everybody has a motion to adjourn. I have a motion on the floor to adjourn from Nick with support from Tracy.
So we're all supporting that motion. It's a unanimous support.
Voice vote. All in favor of motion to adjourn?
Aye.
Motion carries. We are adjourned at 9:14 PM. Thank you, Ida, for your